What brought you to work at Drummond?
Oh, that's a really good question. It's interesting because a couple of years ago, Deborah's the executive director, and she came and spoke at a coffee hour at the church that I attend. And I heard about Drummond House and was very excited about it, and I felt a real draw. So my past, if I'd known about Drummond House, this is a place that I might have benefited from going through some issues in my life. As my marriage had fallen apart and my children and I were struggling. So I was excited about the work she was doing, and at the time I was ready for a career change, so I needed some education to be qualified for Drummond House. I went back to school and earned a diploma in community and social services, but in Drummond House the only employee was Deborah, and then some part-time people. And so it just happened to be in the timing that she was restructuring the way Drummond House was run, and they wanted to hire an operations manager for the house. And I was finished school and applied and got the work. So it was very much a full circle moment for me, because I was excited about it a couple of years ago, and this is where I ended up. But I had been following the ministry for a couple of years and excited about the work that she was doing. And I think for Deborah and I both, because we have been there and are on the other side of life's struggles this way, that we can really relate with the residents that are here and support them in a way that is very unique and very personal.
I think we only have two more questions.
Okay.
What kind of education do the children that are in here get?
Do you mean support when they're going through stuff, or when they go to school?
Or is there any education here? Do they go somewhere?
They go to school. Okay. So if they're school age, they, depending on where their mother is from, if their mother's local, she might just take them to their school. If they're not, or if she doesn't have a car, there is a school bus that drives by, so they would just walk them down to the end of the laneway and send them to the local school. As far as support in terms of the issues they're going through, because the kids really go through a lot, and it's a huge upheaval for them, is to come to a different place and live with other people. And so that has been an area where we need funding, because we don't have the funding to provide programs for them. We focus on the mothers, and we focus on their healing, and just hope it'll trickle down. But that's been one of the things that we really are in need of and looking forward to being able to provide.
And what's the process of getting admitted to Drummond House?
So what would basically happen, it starts with a phone call. So if somebody calls, they're interested, or they have a referral, we might have somebody call and say, I have somebody I'd like to refer to Drummond House. And I do a phone assessment to determine whether they might be someone that would fit the criteria of coming. So like I mentioned before, they're not in physical danger, they're not in the midst of an addiction. There a different number of things that are just practical that we can either manage or not manage with the house. So we go from there. Beyond that, we would determine whether we'd like to meet with them and have a personal interview. In that interview, we go deeper. We go more into the issues and the reason why they need to come. We dig quite deep, actually. We actually ask for references, and we talk to their references. It's pretty intensive, actually, because of the nature of the house. We want to protect the women that are here. We also want to make sure the person coming that this is the right thing for them, too. And then it takes about 2 weeks between, if somebody is suitable for the house, it takes about 2 weeks before they actually can come.